welcome to Northwest Area Command. It's first Tuesday, and Happy New Year, because this is the first Tuesday of the year. I am not Captain Larkin, obviously. No, she's much more beautiful than I am. I'm her assistant, Rick Given. I'm the administrative lieutenant, and so I'll be hosting this first Tuesday. She's on a much-needed vacation. She'll be back mid-month. She'll be here for the next first Tuesday, which is March 5th. So put that in your calendar for March 5th. As a way of just housekeeping, well, first of all, who has been here to the first Tuesday before? Wow, welcome back. Thank you for coming back. Who is first time? Outstanding. See, that's what we like to see. So many months ago, we moved into this facility just because we have standing room only in our facility next door. So it's great to see these seats filled. Please continue to come back. We enjoy that partnership. Again, as housekeeping, if you haven't been here before, there's bathrooms out and to the right, and they'll direct you to that. The vendors that are here, they're here at our request. Please stop by their booths. And if did everyone get a raffle ticket? Yes. All right. If you didn't, make sure you get one. One of the officers can help you out with that. As far as introductions, so unfortunately we just had a shooting that occurred. So our swing shift lieutenant, Troy Barrett, had to run out and make sure that's okay. We do have our day shift lieutenant, Lieutenant Donegan. And then our graveyard lieutenant couldn't be here tonight either. In the back we have Director Kevin Skehan. He's the director of our digital forensics. He has brought us into the 21st century. Believe it or not, many years ago we weren't there yet, and with his assistance, he's brought us there. So, anyone else I missed that walked in? Okay. I wanted to thank the vendors. So please stop by. They take time out of their night to come here to give you some much-needed tools that can help you. Just to kind of give you an idea from 2018 and where we are. So 2018, thankfully, we're down 9% in violent crime valley-wide. Yes. And here in Northwest, we match that. Just in Northwest Area Command, because I saw some new hands, just kind of orientate you where you're at. We currently have 9 area commands. And you're in the Northwest Area Command, which consists of 100 square miles from Cheyenne north, 95, and Decatur as it continues on west. So we have everything north from Cheyenne to the mountains. I'm sorry, Charleston. Did I say Cheyenne? Yeah. We're on Cheyenne. Charleston. From Charleston north all the way to the mountains, we have Mount Charleston. And then everything from 95 west. So that's where you're at currently. We are down 9% in violent crime, which matched the valley-wide violent crime. As far as robberies, we were down 21%, and aggravated assaults down 16%. So that's a credit to our partnership and the officers working. Why burglary this part of the month? Well, we were actually up in burglaries in 2018. The other thing that we were up in is stolen firearms. We're having a real big issue with people targeting houses and vehicles for firearms. If you look at one of our hot maps and how it shows where the firearms are being stolen, Northwest Area Command leads in that category. So we want to try to educate the public, educate our officers on how to combat that. The problem is burglaries. No one just leaves their firearms around. Someone breaks in and steals them. So we don't have a stolen firearms problem, we have a burglary problem. So that's why I asked Randy Klenosky, he's our crime prevention specialist, to give a presentation today to give you some tools and to help you educate your neighbors, educate yourselves on some things that you can help us in combating. And I won't steal his thunder, he has a lot of information. Here's a few things about how, again, if you've never been here before, how we do things here on First Tuesday. So every month on first Tuesday, we recognize a citizen that has helped us and partnered with us at the police department. And then we do an internal recognition on an employee here at Northwest Area Command that we would like to recognize in front of everyone. Because we didn't have a first Tuesday in January, you get double the pleasure. So we have 2 citizens we like to recognize, and then 2 internal employees. This first gentleman, I'd like to kind of use an analogy. You know how you have neighbors, and you have that friendly neighbor that you can go, borrow a cup of sugar, drop your kids off, maybe your dog, maybe ask them, to make dinner for you. Yeah, that's this neighbor. That's how I compare this gentleman to us. He is, in reality, our neighbor. His company, Savant Investments, hopefully I said that right, is right next door to us here off of Metro Academy Way in Cheyenne. So not only is he our neighbor, but he's our partner. So if you bear with me here. Jordan Weirs, on behalf of members of Northwest Area Command, we would like to express our appreciation for you and your staff's efforts on helping our community. Our community policing officers Northwest would like to thank you for your dedication with your generosity and your outreach. You are an invaluable community partner and your efforts do not go unnoticed. You have partnered with us on several community events, which have made all the difference in making them successful. Last year we had a round the world cultural event, which was at Centennial Hills Park, and he was one of our major partners in that event, which was very successful. If you did not get to go to that event, we're planning another event this year, and hopefully we can make that even greater. We believe in building relationships and forging strong community bonds with our partners. You have proven to be successful in your business as well as your community involvement with law enforcement. Your positivity impacts the community we work and live in. As a token of our appreciation, sir, if you please come up. We'd like to recognize you as one of our community partners for the month of January 2019. All right. So the next citizen, where is she? All right, just make sure you came in here. So if you went by the vendor's booth, you may have come across Maureen Wilson. She is another partner for Metro that has helped us out tremendously. She works with Sonatrol. Sonatrol, if you don't know, is an alarm company that you can actually hear the people breaking in. And I was gonna steal your PowerPoint the other day so I can have them listen to some of the sounds that the system picks up when someone's burglarizing a business or a residence. But it's quite the system. So on behalf of, if you start making your way down. On behalf of members of Northwest Area Command, we'd like to express our appreciation of your community partnership. You are an invaluable community partner and your efforts have not gone unnoticed. If you didn't know, Sonatrol has been serving northern and southern Nevada since 1992. And they have assisted in both our police departments and other police departments in making numerous burglary and theft cases. Maureen has been with Sonatrol since May of 2002. She's the Executive Administrative Police Relations Coordinator. Maureen comes to the Area Command and shows her appreciation for our officers. So what happens is an officer responds to a Sonatrol burglary. It's real time. So our dispatch actually dispatches officers straight to the alarm. Whereas like some of you have a home alarm, we may not go straight to because the alarm company will respond. We respond to these because it's real time. We can hear people breaking in, using tools at some of these. So we respond in real time. The officers are personally recognized with a certificate of appreciation that she makes sure that she fills out. Recently, Maureen has created a training presentation for our officers. We've increased the number of officers we have, and with the increase of officers, their chance of responding to one of these alarms is great. So she has created that PowerPoint for us. She's a perfect example of building great relationships and forging strong community bonds with law enforcement. We're very fortunate to have you, and we thank you as part of our community. As a token of appreciation, we'd like to recognize her for February of 2019. See here, Sergeant Hendricks, there you are, okay. All right, so you guys ever see the Energizer Bunny, right? It just keeps going and going and going. That's how I describe this sergeant. First of all, we're friends. Second of all, he's a great investigator. I had the chance to work with him in Spring Valley, and I stole him from Enterprise Area Command to become our Flex Sergeant. Just to kind of give you a little background on what a Flex Sergeant does. So the teams used to be called utility teams, used to be called problem-solving teams. Basically, they're the team that gets things done when we need something to get done. If there's wanted persons to be going after, houses that are selling narcotics, this is the team that assists us in that. So if you bear with me. Sergeant Jeremy Hendricks, you've been assigned to Northwest Area Command since August of 2018 as the Northwest Flex Sergeant. As the sergeant over this proactive team of officers, he has the duty to oversee operations which target narcotic sales, problem houses, and tracking down wanted suspects. In September 2018, Sergeant Hendricks coordinated with Nevada Parole and Probation in an operation called Operation Safe Streets. The operation assisted Nevada PMP in conducting checks on subjects who were on parole or probation. During that operation, Sergeant Hendricks and his squad came into contact with a subject on probation who was found to have narcotics within the bedroom they reside. A search warrant was secured and additional narcotics were found that were being packaged for sale, along with 3 firearms. And that's what this team is supposed to target, is firearms. One of which was stolen. The 2 subjects at the residence were arrested. Since arriving at Northwest Area Command, Sergeant Hendricks was also able to track down 25 wanted subjects. And to kind of give you a perspective, he's only been here since August. So we're just in February. One of which was wanted for homicide of an unborn child. During this time, 4 search warrants had been served by his team. What makes this commendable is Sergeant Hendricks' ability to coordinate numerous operations within a short amount of time. On February 3rd, on Super Bowl Sunday, him and his team did a DUI checkpoint off of Charleston where they made 22 DUI arrests. Sergeant Hendricks, you are commended for your hard work and tenacity in guiding your squad to combat violent crime and actively pursuing wanted suspects. You are being recognized as the Northwest Area Command LVMPD Employee of February 2019. Thank you for your hard work and dedication.
And that's all the officers that do it right back there. So,
yeah, it's a great
thank
you. They wanted me to mention how well you look in uniform, by the way.
Yeah.
You know. All right, I have to have a page for this one. So, what some people don't see behind the scenes is, obviously you see police officers, you see them working in and out of the station, you see them out in your streets, but we have many, many civilian employees behind the scenes that are doing amazing work. They assist us in making the connection to a lot of our investigations because they're answering the phones, they're talking to citizens. But this particular person is dear to my heart. And he's presenting tonight. So I want to tell you a little bit about Randy Klenosky. He's our crime prevention specialist. If you haven't seen him establishing your neighborhood watches, or he's been to many community events, the program the presentation that you're going to see tonight, he's actually presented in many of our communities already. So if you'd allow me. Crime Prevention Specialist Randy Klenosky started with Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department in June of 2016. Starting his career in Convention Center Area Command, CPS Klenosky, CPS stands for Crime Prevention Specialist. He was instrumental in creating a sexual assault prevention and awareness for casino and nightclub security officers. The Stay Safe program has trained these security officers in identifying impaired and vulnerable patrons and taking steps to ensure they are taken care of medically and placed in safe care. Just kind of, that program is still going on in existence. He's taught others to teach that. Over 5,000 people have been taught during that program. Since arriving at Northwest Area Command, CPS Klenosky has been instrumental in establishing contacts within the Northwest Area Command community and continuing to make our neighborhood watch program one of the largest in the valley. If I may, has anyone had contact with Klenosky? All right, do you see those hands, sir? That's outstanding. That's amazing. While here at Northwest Area Command, he was able to establish connection to the Nextdoor app. Who's on Nextdoor? All right, it's a good app. This app is a way to communicate with your neighbors, and he was able to bring LVMPD up to speed with technology to make sure that we were also part of that app. With communities continuing to stay connected through social media, Crime Prevention Specialist Klenosky and the Area Command intelligence officers constantly monitor and respond to criminal matters being discussed on Nextdoor and other social media apps. Would you please come, sir? Crime Prevention Specialist Randy Klenosky is being recognized as Northwest Area Command's LVMPD Employee of January 2019. Thank you for your hard work and dedication in striving to make this a crime-free community. All right, without further ado, so Randy is amazing, I'll tell you. I come to him, I think you get more emails than I do, to be honest. And I don't know how he does it because it's hard to manage, hard for me to manage the 500 emails I get a day too. But I'll tell you kind of his background. He's out of New York, worked for the NYPD for 5 years, went on to Santa Clara PD for 5 years. And then worked for McKinney Police Department in Texas. We're lucky to have him. I think you will enjoy his presentation. At the end of it, please, if you have questions, go and ask him. After the presentation is over, what we're going to do is we're going to draw for the prizes. And then when we break, it'll be your opportunity. If you have some concerns in the community, there'll be police officers on your way out, and you can stop with them and tell them your concerns. All right, without further ado, Randy.
Those of you that saw the flyer promoting tonight's event, I want to show you that there was no false advertising, because on the flyer it says somebody with knowledge of burglaries. I have moved around the country to different police departments, but it's not because I'm part of the witness relocation program. I did not commit those burglaries. Our first intention was to try to bring you somebody from the criminal's mind, somebody who has rehabilitated themselves and is now a successful member of our society, and have them talk you through some of the things they saw when they were committing their crimes. But unfortunately, they backed out at the last minute. Maybe they thought you guys would bring your pitchforks and torches to run them out of town. So a couple days ago, the lieutenant came to me and said, hey, you know that presentation you've done for someone a couple times? I said, yeah. He said, you know, would you mind doing that for First Tuesday? I said, you know, that's an hour-long presentation. So I said, I'll pare it down for you guys. So no fear, we're going to try to get through this in about 20 to 25 minutes. So tonight's topic is going to focus on home security. As the lieutenant said, the one crime that we're struggling is burglaries and stolen firearms, and they go hand in hand together because that's one of the main things that are going into your homes when they're committing those crimes. So we want to make sure that we start off the year and we focus on that as our topic, and it's going to be something that we discuss throughout the year, pushing it out through our neighborhood watch groups, pushing it out through our social media outlets, whether you follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, our YouTube channel, or you get those emails from me on Nextdoor. We're going to make home security and burglary prevention one of our main goals this year. So what is tonight about? Tonight's really about helping you guys to help yourselves before the criminals help themselves to your belongings and violate your privacy. Like the lieutenant said, we have all these vendors that came tonight to show you that there are some products out there that can assist you. We no longer can live in the day and age where we are in denial and say, oh, it'll never happen to me. Because if it hasn't already, maybe it's happened to a friend, a neighbor, and someday it may happen to you. Technology has come a great way. It's come down in cost, where there's a lot of things that you can do to help protect yourselves that we're going to go through during the presentation. So the lieutenant gave you the current burglary picture, and I do have a map that'll show you the stolen firearms that he was discussing. So you'll get to see that in vision. I'm going to talk about what are the elements that need to happen at the same time for this type of crime to occur. We're going to talk about what are your home security vulnerabilities. How are they getting into your home? And then what can you do to protect yourself on that? What are some of the improvements that you can do to your life and to your home to try to deter your home as a target? And we're going to talk about those behavioral changes, things that you can do to change the way you look at your home, the way you act your life out to hopefully protect yourself. And then we're going to be finishing up talking about the program that the lieutenant helped spearhead here, which is a program called Know What You Own. So we'll talk about that a little further. So this right here is the map. The map I have up here is as of Halloween of last year. That was the most up-to-date that we had prior to this morning. This morning we found out the final statistics for 2018. But last year we had 2,241 firearms stolen throughout the whole valley, which is an increase of 2% valley-wide. Now, if you look up on this map, you will see Northwest Area Command is the yellow arrow. And you see all those red things? That's not good. The Northwest Area Command, as large as we are, it doesn't handicap the fact that we've accounted for 24% of stolen firearms throughout the valley. 4 out of the top 5 sector beats in stolen firearms were part of the Northwest Area Command. Okay? So we need to do better. And in the meeting that we were in this morning down at headquarters, we were reminded that Northwest Area Command has led the valley year after year after year after year. We as a police department can't do it alone. We cannot protect all those guns. So we need our homeowners, our residents that own those firearms to do a much better job of securing them. So that's why it's a really hot topic for us, and it's really dear and close to our officers that are out there on the streets patrolling. So when it comes to the crime of burglary, and this can fall into pretty much any type of crime that happens, we have what's called the crime triangle. There have to be 3 elements present for that crime to occur and the criminal to be able to carry it out. The first one's going to be the desire, okay? The one side of that triangle is the desire. What is that criminal's reason or motivation for committing that crime? Now, we live in Sin City, right? So it could be an addiction to drugs, alcohol, gambling, women, all of the above. Or it could be just simply somebody who's down and out on their luck. They've lost their job. They have nowhere to go. They need to feed for their family, so they have to go into the store and steal merchandise. They have to break into your home to be able to provide for their family and support themselves. So the second side of that triangle is going to be the ability, their ability to break into your homes, okay? Now, to commit a robbery, you have to use force or the threat of force to be able to obtain somebody else's property. But when it comes to property crimes like burglary, that's where the inherent environment around your homes can contribute to the opportunity to commit that crime. How many of you have desert landscaping with rocks in the backyard? How many of you have barbecue tools, lawn furniture that can be used to break a window? How many of you have flimsy doors that can be kicked in very easily? The ability to get into your home is pretty much inherent in the motivation of the criminal. So that's almost a given. And then on the bottom of that triangle, or the foundation, if you will, is going to be the actual opportunity. That's the homeowners who leave their doors open, their windows open, their doors unlocked, their windows open so that people can see what size TV they have and what kind of merchandise they have inside of their home, those sorts of things. Of those 3 criteria, what can everybody in this room control? Opportunity, okay? That is 100% correct. And then we can do that by looking at our home, looking at things that we can do to protect our home, create a harder target, and deter the criminal from breaking into our home. Criminals don't want to work hard. They want to get into your home and get out. They're in and out of your home in less than 3 minutes, okay? And they pick the path of least resistance, or the lowest hanging fruit. So if your house is very well protected, you have alarm signs, you have screen windows, you have a barking dog, cameras, nice landscaping, they're going to look to the next house, and they're going to try to pick out a house that's easier for them to break in. Okay? So how do burglars get into your homes? Okay? Are they Santa Claus? Are they coming in through your chimneys? No, they're not. Okay? I know every year we see that story from the Midwest where a burglar gets caught in the chimney and there's a funny photo of the cops hauling them out. That's not how the burglars are getting into your homes here in Las Vegas. Okay? They're getting into your homes through one of 2 ways. Your doors or your windows. Those are the vulnerable points of your home. Those are the entry points that they're using to get into your home and make off with your belongings. So when it comes to doors, you've got your standard common entry doors, whether you have a solid wood core door, a steel door, doors with windows, doors without windows. You have your common entry doors. What can you do to protect that? You can create an additional layer. You can create a security door. You can get some of those artistic ironworks security doors. You can get it from any of the home improvement stores for a relatively cheap price when you consider what you're trying to protect in your home. Security of your home is an investment. You can invest it in on the front end. You'll save yourself a lot of heartache, a lot of headache, and a lot of money, okay? Because if we wait till we're victimized, now we have to report it. We have to replace what was lost, stolen, or damaged. Then we decide that we want to implement security measures on our home. So you're really spending double the money. When it comes to your locks on your doors, go home and examine your locks. Those of you that aren't tech savvy, okay, the main component of your lock is going to be the deadbolt right there. Your deadbolt throw should be at least 1 inch thick. Okay? When you click it, when you lock your door, secure it, you should hear a click, and that means that it's fitting securely into the strike plate that your builder has secured on your door frame. If it doesn't click, you need to make sure that it's drilled out or burrowed out deep enough so that it does click and it's firmly secured. Okay? Now, what else can you do? You can add secondary locks. This lock up here, along with the little old ball and chain, is one of the most common ones that we've seen over the decades. They are very flimsy. It encourages you to open the door. We don't like that model in the law enforcement world or the security world. We prefer ones that are secure, that keep your door flush. Doesn't encourage you to open it. It acts as a second deadbolt and really secures that door into its frame. What else do we like? I'm going to ask an age-old question, and I apologize if this is not inappropriate in any way, but does size matter?
Oh, we know it's happening. Criminals are breaking into places all over the country. They steal our stuff and then leave us to clean up the mess. We checked the latest numbers, and there have been 2 million home break-ins in just the last year. It kind of got us wondering, how can we protect ourselves and do it for not a lot of money?
Whatever preventative measures you can take that are simple and inexpensive to protect your family, I think they're worth doing.
We learned of a way to nearly triple the strength of your front door. It sounded too good to be true, so we thought we'd test it out. Most door handles and deadbolts come with 3/4 inch screws, so we installed them on this door.
All right, so we got our small screws.
Then I got my kickboxing workout in for the day. The space was a little confined, but it only took a few good kicks.
So that really wasn't that hard.
8 kicks in all. These screws ripped right out of the wood and flew all over the place. The strike plate, look at this. It was flung several feet away from the door.
It wasn't very tough to get it open at all.
With the smaller screws, you're screwing into just the door jamb itself, which is really just a 3/4 inch piece of pine typically. So pretty weak, can break fairly easily.
So if the door with 3/4 inch screws was relatively easy to kick down, what would happen if we put these longer screws in?
Okay, so here's what we have now. This one's different because we've taken 2 3-inch screws just like these and drilled them into the plate. So we'll see how things fare differently.
I kicked and kicked and kicked. My producer even started laughing at me because I was getting worn out.
What are you laughing at? It's a lot of work.
And I got back into it, and in all, it took 22 kicks to get this door open.
So that was a lot harder. And if you look here, the plate actually stayed. Those screws held that plate in. It's not even the screws that came out. It's the whole deadbolt that ripped out of the door here.
When you put the longer screws in, you're actually going into the framing of the house. It can withstand a lot of stress. So I think that's the reason that the longer screws would be really helpful in securing your house.
Our test even impressed Chris Kelly. He used to install doors in new and remodeled homes.
Yes, I will be going out to purchase some right away, in fact. Probably the cheapest way to secure your house that I could think of.
Guys, that was a workout, let me tell you. I mean,
and you know, you were doing it in a dress shirt, which totally impressed me, by the way.
You gotta be a little bit stylish,
Come on.
right? You gotta try.
So I have a question, all you got.
Did you get out of there before the homeowner came home?
Well, you know, actually that was an abandoned house, as you could tell.
Okay,
it's a little dirty, maybe need to be cleaned.
But that's all it took,
yeah,
right there.
So see the screws right here. I mean, they're just 3 inches long. When we purchased these here in Denver, just 99 cents. So with tax, a little more than $1. And you can install these with a drill. You can just use a screwdriver. It's it's very, very easy. And you saw the difference that
No
makes. I
kidding.
mean, for
That was
99
great.
cents, this is a no-brainer.
Eye opener.
So yeah, size does matter when we look at the screws. Just look at that diagram when you compare the 1/2 inch or 3/4 inch screws that most builders use. They use it because they can buy it by bulk, it's much cheaper, and it's a lot quicker during the build, and it saves them a lot of time and money. So that is something that everybody in this room can do. And you can go to any home improvement store, buy a bag of 3 to 4 inch length screws for under 10 bucks and change it out. By doing that alone, you'll strengthen your door frame up to 3 to 5 times. And we recommend doing it on the hinge side as well, every other screw, because we have seen it where the door kicks off on the hinge side as well. It's a relatively cheap thing to do. So if they're not getting in through your front door, well, a lot of times our burglars, they strike during the day. The majority of our home burglars are during daytime when they think that nobody's at home. And if you don't answer your door, you don't acknowledge the door, the knock at your door, they think you're not home, and they'll kick in your front door, or they'll shoulder it in. But sometimes they'll go around to the back, and if you have a sliding patio door, those are vulnerable as well. So we recommend adding secondary locks to those as well. There's a variety out there. There's the Charlie bar, there's the tension model in there. You can use a broomstick in that sliding track, but you want to put a secondary lock in there. And sometimes they can lift the sliding door out of the actual track or the frame itself, so you can put a dowel up in the top there to make sure that they're not able to lift it out of the track to secure it in there. Like we talked about, they're smashing through your glass. They're coming right in through your glass door, glass windows. And here in the valley, with some of the beautiful views we have, I noticed the new homes, they love windows. They love glass. It's making it very inviting because there's a huge open area to come in through, and they can see all the stuff that you guys have inside of your home. All right, so when it comes to windows, just like the doors, we recommend having secondary locks on all your windows. Whether they're sliding windows or they're lift windows, there are secondary locks out there that you can add to secure that window from moving in place without them being able to defeat those locks. Okay, now when we talk about the glass itself, there are a number of ways that you can protect your glass from breakage and allowing them to enter into your home. I see a lot of these in in Sun City, these roll-down shutters. Those are great if you are a snowbird or somebody who goes away for months at a time, because they are very secure. They'll roll down. I grew up in Brooklyn, New York, and believe me, it reminds me of some of the grocery stores along Manhattan Avenue that I grew up on. Minus the graffiti. There's no graffiti on these ones. But they will secure your home. They will keep them very tight and secure. They're almost impenetrable, and they're very good for their money. Second option is going to be security screens. They look a lot like the regular screens that you have on your window. However, they're made of different layers of mesh steel. We have a couple of vendors outside, so as you leave, check it out. They'll do a demonstration for you. They'll show you how they work. They'll let you touch and feel it, okay? That's the whole purpose of tonight, is to educate you on some of the things that are out there, and then it's like a show and tell, like we're in grammar school all over again, okay? This is a quick demonstration.
Good to go.
Okay, now our burglars are out here. They're not using mallets, wooden mallets to try to get into your doors, but I had to throw it in there for a laugh factor, okay? Okay. And then the last option for your glass is going to be security film. It's much like the tint on your auto windows. It's a layer of security film that goes on the inside of your windows. However, it's interwoven with layers of security. And again, we do have a vendor out there that has some samples that you can see, and they can explain exactly how it works. This is just an example of a home. The left side is a clear window. On the right side, this homeowner went with a tinted model to help with some of the solar efficiency and also to create less people being able to see into their home, okay?
The 3M safety and security films are used to help fortify glass against intrusion protection, break and entry, bomb blasts, as well as natural disasters.
On our demonstration wall, this window does not have security film. It just has tempered glass, which is common in storefronts, office buildings, schools. And with tempered glass, it's considered safety glass, but it's not very resistant to break and entry. This is 3M safety and security window film. It's called 3M Scotch Shield Ultra. This window has 3M security film on it, and now we will attempt to break through with a baseball bat. You can see that the glass is broken, but contained in place by the film. The whole broken glass with film on it is contained in place by the attachment system. It's much more difficult for somebody to try to get through this now.
Someone tries to break the glass, but they can't enter the space. So the film is really designed to hold that intruder on the outside of the building for as long as 2 minutes.
So our testing has shown that it can take somebody as long as 2 minutes to get through this film system, compared to seconds, as you saw with the prior demonstration. We combine numerous layers of material together into one single film.
I put that demonstration in there so you can actually see how that works, because we can't demo them breaking glass. They didn't bring 50 plate glass windows for us to try for you. The reason I really like the security film is if you have an alarm system and you have glass breakage sensors, that first whack of that glass is going to set up your glass breakage sensors, and that starts the clock ticking in the bad guy's head. Like I said in the beginning, most bad guys are inside your home in and out in less than 3 minutes. The sooner you get that clock started, you have the glass breakage sensors going off, your sirens are going off, your alarm company is getting alerted and monitored. If you have a security company monitoring it, they're communicating with us that they hear somebody inside or they hear the glass being shattered. Those all add up, okay? So that's an example of the security film before and after. Now let's talk about some of the environmental things that you maybe take for granted or you don't notice every day, okay? Landscaping is an important part of home security. Okay, if you look at some of the images I have up on the screen here, the ones on the right, you'll notice they have overgrown bushes, low-hanging trees in the front. What that does is it obscures the front entryway and the garage entrance into your home. It provides hiding spots, or we like to call them ambush points for bad guys that can lie in wait. Also, if somebody's in the front door, let's say of that top picture on the right, nobody can see them in there because there's so much shadow, there's such a dark spot in there that if a passerby, it's one of your neighbors walking a dog or one of our patrol officers driving a black and white, they're not going to see the person in there. So the image on the left, that's a good idea of what you want to have. You want to have clean, neat, manicured landscaping with clear, unobstructed views of the front of your home and the side of your home. So if a burglar is lurking around your home, somebody will see that, hopefully if they're passing down the street, and they'll be able to call us and have us come out there and respond. Same thing with lighting. We take great advantage of lighting. Many of the newer communities are built very dark with sparse lighting because they want to create that ambiance. Well, we're finding that the darkness attracts the burglars. Okay, the burglars, they don't like light. They don't want to be seen. They don't want to be recognized or identified. So it's very important that inside and outside of your home, you have proper lighting. That includes landscaping in your lighting to create prevent those shadows in your lighting. You want to be able to have that look of occupancy where if I look at your home, it makes me think twice. Is somebody home or is somebody not? And you can do that with lighting in your home, timers on your lights, those sorts of things. Okay? One of the big things also is when I ask people, hey, how's the lighting in your home? They tell me, oh, it's beautiful. I light it up like a Christmas tree. Well, you got to be careful because your lighting, you want it to be clear and focused where human activity can be. You want to deter that negative activity. Lighting it up like a Christmas tree creates glare or pollution. And here's a good example of a home. Outside of your yard, you have that full globe of light, right? Creating a high glare. When you cover up that glare, I don't know, it may be hard to see with the lighting here, but there's somebody standing in that doorway. Okay? But with the glare, you can't see that. So you want the light to be focused. You don't want it just to be out there blinding, creating light in the whole neighborhood. I'm going to show you a quick video here. We talked about opportunity in the beginning. So watch this video. I'm going to have a couple of questions that I'm going to rhetorically throw out there. Well, watch this short little video. Okay, so, right, burglars, they're out there trying to get into this home. Where are they? What room in the house are they in? The garage. How did they get into that garage? What happened? The door was left open, right? So the garage door was left open. How many of you in the summer, when it's really hot out here, you leave it open? Yeah, just about 12, 14 inches, get that ventilation going. You're not doing anything, okay? You're not creating a cooler home for yourself. What you're doing is you're creating an opportunity for somebody to crawl into your home and have access to your garage. If I can get into your garage, I have all day now to try to get into your home in the interior. Okay, so that's the opportunity. What's their desire, the motivation to commit that crime? Who knows? They could be committing drugs, they could be selling stuff, they could be addicted to alcohol, whatever it may be. And then the ability is, the first guy here that's been over at the door, he has a backpack that's open, he has some sort of pry tool where he's trying to pry open the door. So that's what we're talking about, is that opportunity. We can prevent that opportunity. If that homeowner had that garage door down, they would have kept going until the next garage door. And what you want them to do is everybody in your neighborhood to be on the same page. So as they go down the block, guess what? This neighborhood is not one that I can mess with. This is not one that I can break into and commit my burglaries. Let me go on to the next neighborhood. Okay? You love your neighbor, but if they're going to choose one of two houses, it better be not your house because you're doing everything you can to prevent a burglary. Okay? This also ties into my next segment, which is going to be, I get asked a lot, Randy, do cameras work? Are cameras an effective deterrent? Not always, okay? Because there are some people who are either too high or too stupid and they don't see the cameras. But this is a classic example of when they notice the cameras are there, yes, it can deter crime. Okay, it can deter that behavior when they recognize that camera. Dopey 1 pointed up to Dopey number 2 and they hightailed it out of there, okay? If you have cameras, make it known that you have cameras. Have signs that say, smile, you're on camera with an arrow pointing up. They will look up and you will get that nice money shot, okay? You laugh, but we use technology, okay? We use technology now more than ever. If we can't deter the crime, we're using it to apprehend the criminal, okay? Many of you here in the Northwest, in December, we had package thieves going around and we were catching them. But most recently, we had a sexual assault and a kidnap of a young girl up in the Northwest. And we caught him so quick because the amount of surveillance footage that came in from the neighborhood that gave us the evidence that we needed to catch the person of interest. So technology is our friend. We are embracing it as an agency, and we do support it throughout our community. So when it comes to technology, there's a number of things out there that you can add to your home. Alarm systems, security cameras are a couple of things. So up here I have a couple of images on the screen. On the left-hand side is a flyer for Vegas Safe Cam. We have some at our crime prevention table. Feel free to take when you get home. If you have surveillance cameras on the exterior of your home, register them with us. We're not going to become your monitoring company, and we're not going to watch your grass grow. But if there's a crime in your neighborhood, we know that you have cameras. You may have that piece of evidence that helps us solve a crime and catch a criminal. So it's a very good program that was started a couple years ago by our Fusion Center. All right. With technology, when cameras first came out, they all had to be hardwired. You needed an electrician. It was a lot of money. Not anymore. Most of the systems now are do-it-yourself type systems, wireless. All you need is Wi-Fi and a little bit of handy skills to do it, or you can hire somebody to do it. And the price of that technology has come down greatly, where you can really use that to protect your home and your family and your belongings. Okay. Alarm system going on forward. It's about layering those alarm systems. Having the siren that's tied to a key panel. Have the glass breakage sensors, motion sensors in your home, so if somebody's in there, it detects motion and tips people off, okay? Having the right placement of cameras so you can catch people as they're moving in and out of your home, okay? We have experts here on these type of things. Ask them questions if you don't have something or if you're looking for something. Ask them the questions. That's what they're here for tonight, okay? You don't have to call up on the phone and listen to their on-hold music, okay? You have a live person. You don't have to press 1 to speak English or 2 to get the operator. You can talk to them here. Okay? Security is like layers. Who doesn't like chocolate cake? And the more layers you have in a chocolate cake, the better it tastes. Okay? Home security is the same way. Layering that type of security. Okay? You have to weigh price versus quality. Sometimes people buy the most expensive thing, people that don't have a budget, people that have unlimited income. Well, the most expensive thing isn't always the best thing. So make sure you know what you're getting into. Do your homework. Get multiple quotes when you're buying products. Also, know yourself and your behaviors. Okay? For example, there's a lot of do-it-yourself alarm monitors now where you can monitor it on your smartphone. If you are a person who cannot check those alerts, if you are a person who are in meetings and you can't answer those alerts, maybe a do-it-yourself system's not for you. Maybe you need somebody that's going to monitor that and be able to call the police or call a security response on there. So know yourself, be honest with yourself and your behaviors, so then you buy something that fits you, your family, and your needs and behaviors. Okay? Also, know your neighbors. Know your neighbors, because if you have trusted neighbors, they will look out for you. They will keep an eye on your house when you're not around. Okay? So some of the behavioral changes that we talk about is going to be, look at it from the eyes of a bad guy. If you were a criminal, how would you get into your home? The door, the windows, the bushes provide hiding spots. And if they were to get into your home, where would they go? What room in your house are they going to go to? Where are they going to get your belongings? Those sorts of things. Be prepared. Situational awareness. When you're at home watching TV and you're watching The Bachelor or The Bachelorette, think, hey, if somebody came to the door and kicked in my front door, what would I do? Okay? Where would I go? In the room? Would I get out of the house? What would I do? Okay? Have that home inventory that we're going to talk about, the Know What You Own program. Okay? And also make sure that the master bedroom and the home office, those are the first places that the burglar goes. Why? Because that's where everybody keeps their cash, their jewelry, their prescription drugs, and their guns. And that's what they're going after. Those are the 4 main things, because cash is universal, jewelry is easy to sell, or they give it to their loved ones and show them what they bought it for Valentine's Day. Prescription drugs, they'll use it for personal use, their own dependency, or there's a black market for it. Even though marijuana is legal, there's a big black market for drugs, believe it or not. Okay? Newsflash. Okay? And then guns. Guns, guns, guns. Like we talked about in the beginning of this, guns is our major problem. They use them to facilitate other crimes. They sell them. They use them in other states. So make sure you're protecting all of those. Get your family involved. Okay, those of you that with children, go through training. Make sure they know how to call 911. Make sure they know what their address is. Make sure they know if there's a neighbor's house they can get out of the house and go to. Make sure they are prepared, okay, to respond in an emergency. And again, we talk about creating that look of occupancy, so hopefully they think they'll move on. They do a lot of studies. There are research firms out there that go out and they interview criminals in prison on the crimes they committed, and they ask them to participate in surveys and interviews about why they committed the crimes they did, what deterred them, those sorts of things. Channel 5 News recently, a couple of years ago, they interviewed a burglar in prison, and they said, hey, you know, what prevents you from going into certain homes or neighborhoods? And this one burglar actually said that neighborhood unity is the key. People aren't afraid of an alarm system, but they're afraid of somebody who called 911. And what he's talking about there is neighborhood watch. So like the lieutenant said, we have 779 neighborhood watch block captains here in the Northwest. Okay, a lot, okay? And in those neighborhoods, I'm gonna show you a statistic in a minute, they do work, all right? So what is Neighborhood Watch? It's a program of mutual assistance, neighbors looking out for each other, making sure we have that social reconnection so people care about their neighbors and they call if they see something suspicious going on in their neighbor's home, okay? Basically, like it says up there, if I don't call the cops, my neighbors will. So you have some peace of mind while you're on vacation, you're at work, those sorts of things. What is Neighborhood Watch not? It's not a vigilante group. We're not deputizing people to go out there and track down the bad guys. It's to give us a call and know when to use your metro resources, okay? Basically, you all hear the See Something, Say Something campaign towards terrorism. That is See Something, Say Something for your neighborhood. If you see something that doesn't fit, something that's suspicious, make sure you call it in and say something. This pie chart up here, it shows all the property crimes that we had in the Northwest in 2018. So in 2018, we had a little over 1,700 residential auto thefts, auto burglaries, and residential burglaries. That small slice of pizza up there, for those of you on a diet, that are the percentage that would happen in Neighborhood Watch communities. Under 12% of our property crimes in residential neighborhoods occurred in our Neighborhood Watch communities. Over 88% were in those communities that don't participate or don't have Neighborhood Watch. That is the Kool-Aid to drink to join my Neighborhood Watch cult, okay? We're here to talk about residential burglaries, but we find that there's a lot of auto burglaries as well, okay? And a lot of our guns are stolen out of burglaries of vehicles. So we want to make sure that, hey, if you're going to drive it, make sure you protect it, okay? Use the lock, take, hide principles, which is to lock your car, take your keys, hide your belongings, don't leave anything visible in there that may invite somebody in there, and please do not ever leave a firearm unsecured in your vehicle, okay? It happens more than you think. 40% of our auto burglaries in the Valley last year, there was no forced entry. It's just people that are leaving their doors unlocked, their windows rolled down, and they're saying, come on in and take my belongings, okay? So, like I talked about, we're not asking the people to go out there and be heroes and track down the bad guys for us. We want you to be a good witness, okay? We want to make sure that you know that you can call us and give us the information so that we can respond appropriately. Okay, so what does that entail? It entails reporting the incident immediately when it's safe to do so. Once you're safe, remain calm and speak clearly. I bounced around in police departments. 9 months I did. Sounds like I was in prison. I did 9 months hard time as a dispatcher. Very, very hard job. Much more difficult than you can imagine. I give those people all the credit in the world. After 9 months, I pulled the plug and said, please parole me. And I went back on the street. But wearing that Madonna headset and having people scream into the phone, you don't hear anything. So speak calmly. Speak clearly. They will ask you the questions that they need to get the help that you need, okay? So make sure you do that. But be prepared to give them the what, the where, the when, the how, and the who. Now, you may not know who did it. It's not Johnny Smith, but it's, you know, a white guy in a black polo shirt with glasses and a shaved head. You know, be able to give a description of the person in the vehicle so they have something to go on. And then this is the know what you own. Okay, this is the card up here. We have some out on the table by my crime prevention table. Feel free to take one in your home. The lieutenant started this. Our lieutenant's extremely smart in a couple of ways. One is if he didn't think of an idea, he hears of an idea, and then he knows who to go to have us copycat that idea. We don't want to recreate the wheel. So he attended a meeting with Henderson PD, and they created a program very similar to this. And he said, hey, I want to work on that and bring that to Metro. So he brought it here to the Northwest. And basically, it's a card that's used to canvass the neighborhood. So if there's a crime in your community, a burglary, an auto burglary, something like that, the officers will go door to door, and they will hand these cards out, and letting people know that there was a crime that committed in their neighborhood. And it also gives them the ability to then go onto a company's website that's called Report It Leads Online, and you get a free account where you can log in your property to know your make, model, serial number, those sorts of things. Why is this important? Because the amount of firearms that we have stolen in the Valley, we don't have your serial numbers anymore. Those of you that moved to Las Vegas or the state of Nevada over 4 years ago, you'll remember you used to have to register your firearms when you moved to the state, and you had to fill out the blue card. Thank you very much. You had to fill out the blue card. Well, several years ago, they said it was unconstitutional, so all law enforcement agencies in the state of Nevada had to purge those records. So now, if somebody's home gets broken into, and our officers out there, and they're taking the report, and they're going through the list of property that was stolen, And they come to, yeah, I had guns. What kind of guns did you have? Oh, I had a Glock 9mm. Do you remember the model? Yeah, I think it was a 26. Can you give me the serial number? Now this person's just been burglarized, violated, their property's been stolen. Most of the responses, well, you tell me. I had to register my gun when I moved to your stinking state. And that's when our officers say, yeah, about those blue cards, see, we had to purge them all. So if you don't have them, we don't have them. So now there's a lot of guns out there that are stolen, but they're not in our stolen property database. We come across somebody and they have a gun, we run the serial number. If it's not reported stolen, we can't always prove that it's stolen. So it's really important that you know what you own. To be entered into the stolen property inquiry section, it has to have the make, the model, the caliber, and the serial number of that gun. Without one of those 4 things, we can't enter it into that database. So this is a great program. Feel free to grab a card on your way out. Okay. Lastly is making sure that you folks know to call Metro when you need help. 911 is going to be for your emergency. That's when a crime is happening right now. There's a suspect on scene. There's a further loss of life or property or threat thereof. You smell smoke, you see fire, somebody's having a heart attack. Those are all 911 calls. 311, that's going to be your non-emergency. Okay, you get home and your car window's broken and your stereo's stolen out, but there's nobody around. There's no further loss of life or threat of property. You'll call 311 for that. It's a non-emergency, okay? We want to make sure everybody knows that. And then the state of Nevada has a 211 line, which is a services-related line. So if you come in contact with somebody who maybe they need some help, they're down on their luck, they need housing assistance, clothing assistance, food, whatnot, you can call the police department, and we do have resources to eventually get them the help you need, but a more mainstream, streamlined approach is to call that 211 line. They also have a website. So I don't know if we have time for questions, or we usually actually do the questions at the end of it. So what we're going to end this presentation on is me thanking you all for coming. Okay. The other argument is they get jealous when we post our pictures on Facebook. They're like, "Holy cow! Did you like double the picture? Is it like a mirror image?" So you guys really show up in numbers. I want to thank our generous partners, Albertsons, Darren in the back of the room. He came in and he brought a lot of those sandwiches and goodies. He's amazing. He comes to every one of these. We don't even have to call him anymore. He just shows up. Well, I think we forgot to call him one time, and he shows up, and I'm like, oh, thank God. And then also, one of our partners, he's not here tonight, Pavin. He manages several of the 7-Eleven and Sinclair stores throughout the valley, and he brings the pizza and the bottled water and some of the other things every month. So we couldn't do this meeting without them. When the meeting is concluded, I encourage you, please go back through the hallway. You're going to go back out the way you came in. Stop, look at the vendors, get some of their information, see what products they have, spend some time with them if you want. A few of them were very nice, and they actually brought in some items that we're going to be raffling off now. So if you have your tickets, now's the time to pull the half out that you kept. So the first item that we're going to be giving up for raffle is going to be from one of our good community partners. Now, these vendors that you see here tonight, they partner with us on a lot of our events. We're not technically allowed to promote individual businesses. We're more aligned to promote products. However, we do have some partners in the community that every time we need them to come out to an event, they show up. They're not getting paid for it. They do it because they're invested in the community as much as we are. So tonight we had limited space, so we made a call out to several of our friends and partners to come out here. So the first one's going to be from ASAP Security. They are donating a personal safe. And the winning number is going to be 754-935. 754-935. Anyone? Bueller? 754-935. Next, okay. Hopefully they're not in the bathroom or something. Let's try this one. 754-831.
That is me.
Is it really?
It is.
Can we rewind that tape?
Yeah.
Make sure you didn't sign ahead.
Yeah. I'm watching. What are the odds of that?
Are you David Copperfield? There you go.
Congratulations. Thank you.
I think it's fitting because when I talked about my misery as a dispatcher, he was like, "That's what I did." He's only 25. He got a lot of gray hair from being a dispatcher.
I used to be a dispatcher.
The second raffle item is going to be a certificate from the Robeson Family Tactical. The bearer, whoever wins this, it's going to be good for two. So you, your husband, your significant other, child, whatever it may be, you are entitled to receive an 8-hour CCW course, Concealed Carry Weapons Permit course, or if you already have one, you can get your renewal course, as well as a firearms handling and firearm safety course. Okay? So hopefully whoever wins this will use it. And this goes to 754-852. 754-852. Anybody? 754-852? Is there anybody sleeping in here? Is it you? All right. Wow, you're lucky. I was just about to call on timeout. Congratulations. Beautiful, beautiful. So the generosity just keeps coming. It's like Christmas in February here. Our ADT folks out here, unfortunately they left it in their other pants pocket at home, but they are going to be giving away a Ring doorbell camera, So a lot of those images where we're catching the bad guys are coming from those rings. And this is going to go to 754-891. 754-891. Beautiful, beautiful. And we have one more. Okay, we have one more item here. This is generously donated from one of our great partners, Nevada Safes down on Charleston. They come to all of our events. Dee Dee, she's a sweetheart because at all of our events, she brings out tons of product. The large gun safes, the 1,000-pound safes. So when I talked to her on the phone, she said, "Do I have to bring the big safes? Because my guys don't like working nights." I said, no, it's in the hallway. Just bring your pocket ones. So she feels a lot better about it. But she is giving away, this is called the Defender. It's a key lock handgun safe. And handguns accounted for over 75% of the firearms stolen throughout the valley. So it's even more important. You have that in your nightstand, please make sure that it's secured in a safe. And this is going to go to 754 Randy. Oh. 754-862. All right. There you go.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations. Oh, thank you very much. Awesome. Appreciate it.
All right. Well, can you give a round of applause one more time for Randy? I told him he has to retire here. So just as a reminder, March 5th is our next first Tuesday. We don't have a topic as of yet, but the lieutenant that's going to be putting that event on will have a topic here soon. Randy actually pushes it out on our social media. Please follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and Nextdoor. All right, we're on all social media. On YouTube, I'm sorry, because he's got the video. There will be officers along the way, so again, if you have an issue in your neighborhood or something you want to talk about, some questions about today's presentation, please see them. Thank you. Have a safe night. Thank you.